we will see how to write custom trigonometric functions. I hope those who have at least studied up to class 10, they know about this trigonometric table, right? I'm not going to explain, just to show you how you can get the values in Excel. Okay. Now, for example, everybody knows that tan 45 degree is 1. Now, here I have written the degree values, and let's see, I want to calculate the tan of 45 degree. But I am getting a value of 1.61 something, which is not obviously 1. So what's wrong in there? Now basically, when we are passing some value in the tan function, either in programming or in Excel, we should not pass the degree value. Basically, we have to convert it to a radian value. I am using the radian function here. We have to convert this 45 degree to radian, and then we can use that radian value to find it. Now you can see that I am getting tan 45 degree equal to 1. Basically, 45 degree has to be converted to radian, and that value has to be passed into the tan function to get the value. Now let me convert all the degrees into radian like that, right? And now let me also drag the values across this so that I get the tan values for this. Now tan 0 is 0, tan 45 is 1, and tan 90 is basically undefined here. Actually, it is infinity. So it's a very huge number. Excel is showing like that, but basically it is kind of infinity. Now these two values are something root 3 by 3, and this is root 3. How can we prove it? Let's say sqrt of 3, that gives me this value, right? Now basically in the table it is written like square root of 3, but in Excel we get the decimal value, not the square root thing. Okay, and this one basically this is square root of 3, sqrt of 3 divided by 3, we get this value. So we can see that the values are matching as per the table. The presentation is in decimal format, but the values are at least correct. Now, what about the sign? We have to choose the degree value, and about the cos, we can, sorry, not the degree, the radian. Now, sine 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. These two values are correct, and let me now drag it. Okay, these three functions, sine, cos, tan, is giving correct results. Now, what about cosec? If I say write cosec, COACC, but there is no hint for the function. Why? Because Excel don't have built-in cosec function. That's why we are not getting. We have the cos function and other functions like cos h and other thing, but we don't have cosec function. So what we can do? We can use some identity. We already know that cosec is basically reciprocal of sine. So it means cosec theta equal to 1 by sine theta. So we can say basically 1 divided by sine theta. So as 1 divided by 0 is division by 0 error is getting, so it is something not defined, as we also see not defined. And sec is basically 1 divided by cos, right? And about cot, it is basically 1 divided by tan. That way we are able to create the table. Now here we have used the reciprocal thing. Now here we have used the ready-made built-in function sin cos tan, but here we cannot use the function because those functions are not available in Excel. Now the question is, can we write custom function in Excel? Yes, we can, and for that we need to use VBA programming. We'll see how we can write. And before that, let us just check. Now, if we see tan 45 Now this is degree equal to 45 and we are trying to print the value of tan 45. Either you can write directly 45 or we can store the value of 45 in a variable degree and then we can pass that degree to the tan. Now, if we run this, we are getting the wrong value, right? Because as I told, we have to convert it to a radian. So what I can do, we have to write radian equal to, now we have to convert it. Either we can use a function, custom function, because VBA don't provide this kind of ready-made functions, or we can say actually 180 degree equal to pi radian. So pi divided by 180 multiplied by degree, it will give me radian. And if I then use this radian value, it is supposed to give me 1. Now if I run this, it is giving me 0. Why? Because the pi value is actually 0 because it is not defined. That's why it is evaluating as 0. So we have to define pi. Now pi, if we say 22 by 7, and if we try to evaluate it, we are getting a value close to 1, but it is not exact 1. The reason is the pi value is not exactly 22 by 7. It is an approximate value. We can use 3.14 or some precise value. We can actually copy it, but still we don't get exact one. Let me try the value of pi. The value of pi, I can take it. Sometimes I can take more precise value, but I can, let me try that. With that, I am getting a very close value to 1. Now to get exact one, what can I do? I use a trick, 4.0 into tan inverse. So tan inverse is a tan in VBA of 1.0. So this gives me accurate value of pi, and if I use that, I get the exact value of 1 for tan 45 degree. Okay, now this is a side thing. Now okay, now let me create custom cosec function. How to create custom cosec function? So cosec function basically will take radian as input, and it will also give me a value in double. So in VBA there is no return statement. Instead of that, we have to write function name equal to the value that I want to return. Now basically cosec is 1 divided by sine of radian. So that will create a custom cosec function. Similarly, we can create custom sec function, which is basically 1 by cos. This sine cos are built-in function and these are custom functions. And we have to define the cot function. So cot function is something like that. This will be reciprocal of tan. Now we got these 3 custom functions. Now if we type say cosec, we find this cosec function because it is defined in VBA. Now cosec of this radian, okay, why it is coming this not evaluated, we will see later. Now this equal to sec of this radian, and this will be cot of this radian. Now we have these 3 values. Let me drag it, and if we check with this figure, yes, now this cosec 0 is not defined because it is reciprocal of sine and sine is 0, so 1 by 0 is not defined. That's why we are getting a error value like before. So now we have generated the trigonometric table with our custom functions which we have written in VBA. Here you have learned how to write custom trigonometric functions in VBA. Thank you.